let the good times roll as we roll into week 13 and our recap video. Oh man, what a great song. Of course, we all know that song, right? It's Let the Good Times Roll by the Cars. But it just kind of tries to set the mood because we all know what we're feeling, right?
I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it. I'm about to lose control, and I think I like it. I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it. And I want you.
Yes, we are so excited because week 13 comes to a conclusion. And what does that mean? One more week of the regular season. And then we know what happens, right? In one more week, we have, that's right, the playoffs.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs?
Yes, that's right. The playoffs start in just 1 week after we get through our week 14 here. And we already have 4 teams that have claimed victorious on the regular season and have made it into the playoffs. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. We'll talk about that in a minute. Let's dive into how we did in our predictions. Again, thanks to Eminem for his help with our predictions video. Thankfully, I didn't get an email or a call on anything that we owe some money or, that we have to pay Eminem for his help on there. So, so far, so good. But let's see how we did. And, man, another reason to be excited because I was almost perfect again. I only missed one. It was Sean versus John. I had faith in John, and unfortunately, Sean scored some points. So, anyways, let's see how we did. So, the first one, right, was too far. No, we're week 13 was Ian versus Adam. We said Adam was going to win. It wasn't pretty, 94 to 114. We said Adam was holding on for dear life and really needed this win, and he ended up pulling it out and ended up with the win. So we don't need to go into specifics. And actually, a lot of these games, I think we talked about it online, right? It didn't even matter going into Monday. Like, all of these were decided throughout on Sunday, which is probably one of the first times I think we've had it where actually I could have did a recap video right there on Monday night because nothing that really happened on Monday night was going to determine anything. But we wait till it's official, of course. But this one, just like we predicted, Adam ended up winning. Ian really had a terrible week. 94 points, Ian. I guess we can break it down and look if we want to. Where did Ian hurt? Pollard, Brown, Kittle did nothing. Yeah, that was a tough game. Yeah, he knows. We don't need to rub it in. But Ian, seriously, dude, you're dropping hard. You're 7-6 here, man. You're barely holding on to a playoff spot because, like we said, 4 teams have already clinched the playoffs, and you're not one of them. Oh, but that's okay. You still have a chance. 1 more week left to go. But we got that one right. So that was Adam to win, did win over Ian. The next one was Jay versus Will. And we said, right, Will, we're on his bandwagon. He's been number 1. He's been number 1 for a long time, except for 1 week in there where Clint took it away from him. And then he took it back, and Jay had a win streak going that Will was going to put an end to, and he did. We made fun of Jay on how hot and cold he was and said the real Slim Shady needed to stand up, and maybe he did, and he lost this one here. So Will gets the win, and they both scored a good amount of points, 135 to 126. Respectable, but, I mean, again, you're playing Will. You got to score more than 135 to beat Will typically, and it held true on this one. So another one we got right, 2-0. The next one, the only one we got wrong. I had faith in John. John, you're killing me. I hate to have to announce that Sean wins a week, and holding true to his prediction, he was saying how the last week was going to put him in the playoffs, and I actually hope that's not true, but we'll talk about that in a minute of what that looks like. But Sean gets the win this week. John, another kind of the same boat as Ian, right? I mean, lost again. You're at 7-6. You're holding on for dear life for the playoffs as well. And you gave Sean life, which is what we hate in this league. Quit giving Sean hope. Because then he gets all cocky and stuff. We know how that is. So, but Sean got the win here. I got that one wrong. 2-1. The next one, Jake versus Dez. I didn't give Jake any chance. Said Dez just makes great decisions. He scored 177.4 points. I guess we'll click into it. I don't know why we're wasting our time. I mean, everybody on his team did well. That's all you really need to know, right? Yeah. I mean, yeah. Oh, yeah. We talked about his tight ends that he started and just everything. Yeah, great job, Dez. I still hate your picture. I hate your team name, but you got the win. Congrats. You moved to 8-5. Jake, I know it doesn't matter. You're just out there to try to hurt someone's feelings and keep them from the playoffs, but you dropped the ball on this one. So that was one we got right as well. Next was Clint versus Jeremy. I did say Clint's done playing around, listening to the talk. That was kind of his song that we gave to him, or that Eminem assigned to him. And that held true, right? He scored a respectable 158 points. Jeremy, tried with this team, 101 points. He's not going to beat many people on the screen. He would have beat Jake, but he didn't play Jake. He played Clint. Clint scores a good amount of points, which is good. I mean, keeps him exactly where he needs or wants to be right now, as we'll talk about it. But he's in second, still within striking distance, possibly of Will for that number one spot. So, and then the last one, of course, the one that I love to get right when I pick myself to win, scored 125 points. Decent. I know, poor Josh. Especially going into that Sunday night. I watched it. I saw the play. Christian McCaffrey take the pitch, run outside, and just go down. And I hate to see that, and we all do, and so on. And who knows how that game would have turned out if he would have stayed healthy throughout the whole game? Because he was getting the ball. They were running for some yards. I mean, he was the entire offense in that snow game. But I don't know. Injuries are part of the game. It sucks. I know. I've got Taysom Hill now, who, for me, thankfully got hurt towards the end of the game, but now he's out for the season, and I'm on the search for a tight end. But long story short, with all that, I got the win, and I'll take it. And I want to say it's 4 in a row. I don't have the mobile app up in front of me, but I'm pretty sure that's 4 in a row for me, and outstanding. But that's another one I got right, and that was 5-1. So the winners, right, was Adam, Will, Sean, Des, Clint, and myself. I picked 5 out of those 6 of the matchups. So back to our standings here. So Will, of course, continues to be number 1. We talked about, right, why we're so excited with the playoffs. 4 teams have already been locked. It doesn't show it on here on the computer. I'm on my laptop, but it does show it on the mobile. If you check on that, and it kind of shows that you're already in the playoffs. But Will, Clint, Dez, and myself have already locked a playoff berth. So excited. Not like last year where I lose the very last week and then I miss the playoffs. And if I remember right, because I still have nightmares on it, I believe it was you, Will, right? That we played each other week 14. You had nothing to play for. Mostert went off for just unbelievable amount of points. And it just destroyed me. And I lost, and I missed the playoffs. Yeah, I still think about that every single day. But you know what? This year is different because I made the playoffs. So they're right there to be excited about. So those 4 teams are in the playoffs, and some fun things to look at, right? Because we know there's a fun payout for whoever finishes number 1. Well, let's look at that right now, right? Will's number 1, Clint's number 2, and look at point 4. Will's got a huge point lead at number 1. So is it possible that Will could lose this week and Clint wins and ends up beating him by 87 points? Very doubtful. So really good chance that no matter what happens this week, Will's going to end up as our number 1 seed, but we'll wait and see, right? At number 3 and number 4 with myself, of course, we're not locked into those positions at all. We're in the playoffs, but we could still finish 5 and 6. But we'll take being in there. But this is where the fun starts, then, right? So beyond that, beyond the top 4, we still have quite a few teams that are in playoff contention. So we've got Ian at 5, John at 6, right? And we talked about them. They both lost, and they're killing themselves. Like with these losses, they're putting themselves to the point of having to win that last week. And then we also have 3 teams at 6-7 that are still in the playoff hunt. Sean, Jay, and Adam, who are not out of it yet. Unfortunately, anybody else below that we did not mention, you are out. Jake, Josh, Jeremy, you guys are officially out of the playoffs, but everybody else still has a chance this week. And what's kind of fun is how the matchups are too. So I know I was looking at this earlier, kind of look at week 14 matchups, right? I play Sean, and we talked about that. Like, I'm already in the playoffs, so this isn't Sean can't knock me out of the playoffs this year. But you know what? If he gets the win, that moves him to 7-7. Scroll down. Let's say Adam ends up beating Will, because it looks like as of right now, Will may have some bye weeks that he's dealing with. That can move Adam to 7-7. Ian and Jay play each other. So let's say that Jay wins. That would move Ian down to 7-7 and Jay up to 7-7. Let's say John. Let's say if somehow Josh upsets John and beats him, right? That can move John to 7-7. We could have quite a few teams sitting at 7-7, all trying to make the playoffs. And there could be 2 spots left. We'll talk about that right on the predictions video of how I think that's going to go. But it's really going to come down to points. And if it does, as of right now, right, Sean's in the driver's seat. So Sean is hoping to beat me this week, and then hoping either Ian or John lose, if not both of them, and because he has the points, and he's really close to points over Ian by 1, exactly 1 as of right now. But man, there's so much to play for. Jay, Adam, I mean, you guys, you never know. Sean loses, Ian loses, John loses, you guys win, and you score a ton of points. It's still a chance. I mean, look at John's points. Like, you guys have more points than he does. But Ian has you, so that 6th spot could be up for grabs. There is so much to play for, so much fun to look at. Boy, am I glad I'm already in the playoffs, so I don't have to deal with that stress. All I have to worry about is just beat Sean, so Sean doesn't have to make the playoffs, and we don't have to hear about it. But again, we'll talk about that with the predictions video. But that was just a little preview of all the fun that we can expect for the last week of the regular season, with so many teams so close to being able to make it, and the fun that will ensue. So, all right, that's all we have for the recap video today. We'll turn it back to the cars, let the good times roll, and just continue to be excited about this week as, 4 teams have already made the playoffs.
Let them make you